Welcome back to True Crime Documentary YouTube channel. Today, we take you to the serene and picturesque community of Lakewood, Colorado. Known for its peaceful surroundings and natural beauty, the town is often associated with relaxation and tranquility. Nestled near the Rocky Mountains, it's a place where residents enjoy a quiet, almost idyllic life, far removed from the chaos of big cities. But life in Lakewood would take an unexpected turn when a bizarre, tragic discovery shook the entire community to its core. What followed was a story so surreal it was hard to believe, a tale involving an unlikely marriage between a teenage groom and a much older bride, and a horrifying death that would leave many asking, what really happened? Liam Pearson, a 19-year-old with a shy and introverted nature, was born and raised in the small, close-knit town of Evergreen, Colorado, just a short drive from Lakewood. As a child, Liam was always quiet and thoughtful, a boy who seemed to prefer the company of his own thoughts and the solitude of the forests and mountains surrounding Evergreen. His only outlet for expression was music, and from a young age, Liam found solace in strumming his guitar, writing lyrics, and losing himself in melodies. Music was his escape from the challenges of the world, particularly the difficulties he faced at home. Liam had been raised by his mother, Karen Pearson, in a small, run-down trailer on the outskirts of Evergreen. Their financial situation had always been precarious, but things took a turn for the worse after the economic fallout of the global pandemic. Karen, once a hard-working single mother who juggled multiple jobs to make ends meet, lost her main source of income. As their debts piled up, so did the pressure on Liam to find a way out for his family. He was a sensitive soul, deeply aware of his mother's struggles, and despite his quiet nature, Liam felt a heavy sense of responsibility for their financial survival. But finding a way out wasn't easy for Liam. He had just graduated from high school in May 2021, but unlike his peers who had set clear goals for their futures, whether in college, trade schools, or entering the workforce, Liam's path remained unclear. He knew that his passion for music was undeniable. He wanted to pursue a career as a musician, but the path forward seemed distant and fraught with uncertainty. Music was a tough industry to break into, and the weight of his family's financial struggles only added to the pressure he felt. His mother, Karen, never pressured him directly, but Liam could feel her desperation as she tried to hide the reality of their situation from him. In his small town of Evergreen, Liam was known as the wedding, held just a week before Liam's tragic death, was nothing short of a spectacle. It took place at a luxury resort in Boulder, Colorado, and everything about it screamed opulence. From the ornate decorations to the gourmet catering, no expense had been spared. Diana wore a custom-made designer gown, complete with a diamond-studded veil, while Liam stood beside her in a tailored suit, looking dazed and out of place. Friends and family who attended the wedding couldn't believe what they were witnessing. How had this quiet, introverted teenager ended quiet kid with a guitar, a loner who rarely participated in social events or activities? He preferred to keep to himself, often sitting under a tree during lunch breaks, lost in the world of chords and melodies. His classmates remembered him as someone with untapped talent, but few truly got to know him. As the months passed after graduation, Liam grew increasingly isolated, unsure of where to turn or how to help his struggling mother. It was during this time of uncertainty that his life took an unexpected and shocking turn. Out of nowhere, Liam announced that he was getting married. The news stunned everyone who knew him, his friends, his neighbors, even his mother. But the shock didn't end there. Liam's bride-to-be was not a classmate or someone his age, but a 65-year-old retired businesswoman named Diana McAllister. The staggering age difference left the entire community in disbelief, and the rumors quickly began to circulate. Diana McAllister was no ordinary retiree. She was a woman who loved the limelight, known for her extravagant lifestyle, luxurious tastes, and eccentric personality. She had been married multiple times, and each of her marriages had ended in bitter divorces. Diana loved being the center of attention, and despite her age, she continued to live as though she were still in her prime. She surrounded herself with expensive things, jewelry, designer clothes, lavish homes, and she demanded the same extravagance from those around her. Her latest marriage to Liam was no different, marrying a woman more than 3 times his age. At the wedding, Liam appeared distant and uncomfortable, as though he were simply going through the motions. His eyes remained downcast for much of the ceremony, and he spoke only when spoken to. Diana, on the other hand, reveled in the attention, basking in the admiration of the guests who whispered in hushed tones about the bizarre match. She was the star of the show, while Liam seemed more like an accessory, dragged along in the wake of her larger-than-life presence. Many of Liam's friends speculated about what could have led him to make such a drastic decision. Some believed that Diana had manipulated him, taking advantage of his shy nature and financial desperation. Others feared that Liam had married Diana in an attempt to help his mother escape her crushing debts. Karen, too, had attended the wedding, though her forced smile couldn't hide the conflicted emotions that lingered just beneath the surface. While she had her own suspicions about Diana, Karen was also acutely aware of the financial security that the marriage could bring. As the days passed following the wedding, it became clear that all was not well in the McAllister household. Diana's controlling personality quickly began to dominate every aspect of Liam's life. Known for her erratic mood swings and demanding nature, Diana imposed strict rules on her young husband, dictating everything from what he ate to how he spent his time. She was used to getting what she wanted, and when things didn't go her way, she became explosive. Liam, unaccustomed to such behavior, found himself increasingly isolated and overwhelmed. His dream of a life filled with music and freedom had become a nightmare. Liam confided in his mother, telling her about the growing unease he felt in his marriage. Diana's behavior had become erratic, and Liam was beginning to feel trapped in a situation he didn't know how to escape. But Karen, blinded by the prospect of financial stability, urged her son to stay in the marriage. After all, if Liam left Diana, they would lose everything. Karen's debts would remain unpaid, and Liam's future would become even more uncertain. Torn between his mother's wishes and his own sense of dread, Liam found himself spiraling into despair. On the morning of October 8th, 2021, everything came to a head. That morning, Edith Morris, an elderly neighbor, set out for her usual morning walk through the quiet streets of Lakewood. Edith was a kind woman, well-liked in the neighborhood, and she had often exchanged pleasantries with Liam when she saw him, walking his dog or strumming his guitar on the porch. As she passed by Diana McAllister's luxurious home, something caught her attention. The front door was ajar, and the curtains were drawn, an unusual sight for someone as meticulous as Diana. Concerned, Edith decided to check on the house. She approached cautiously, calling out as she neared the open door, but there was no response. With a growing sense of unease, she stepped inside. The sight that greeted her would haunt her for the rest of her life. Lying motionless on the living room floor was Liam Pearson. His body was slumped against the couch, surrounded by several empty pill bottles. A half-empty glass of water sat on the coffee table beside him. The strong, bitter smell of medication filled the air, and Edith's heart sank as she realized what had happened. Frozen in shock, Edith fumbled for her phone and dialed 911, her hands trembling as she described the horrifying scene. Paramedics and police arrived within minutes, but it was too late. Liam was already dead. The initial assessment suggested that Liam had died from an overdose, but something about the scene didn't sit right with the investigators. Leading the investigation was Detective Grace Holloway, a seasoned investigator known for her sharp instincts and meticulous attention to detail. As Detective Holloway surveyed the scene, she was struck by how tidy everything seemed. There were no signs of a struggle, no overturned furniture, no blood. Everything was in its place, almost as though the scene had been staged. The empty pill bottles and glass of water appeared too carefully placed, raising immediate suspicions. This wasn't just a tragic accident. Something more sinister seemed to be at play. The coroner's report later confirmed that Liam had died from an overdose of prescription medication, but the levels found in his system were far beyond what would have been an accidental dosage. This led Detective Holloway and her team to dig deeper into the circumstances surrounding Liam's death. Their first stop was Diana McAllister herself, who seemed oddly calm in the face of the tragedy. When Detective Holloway and her partner arrived at Diana's home to question her later that day, they found her lounging by the pool, sipping a mimosa as though nothing had happened. Her detached demeanor and the inconsistencies in her story raised red flags for the investigators. Diana claimed that she had gone to bed early the night before, leaving Liam in the living room to play video games. When she woke up in the morning and didn't see him in bed, she assumed he had slept on the couch, but her story lacked emotion, and the detectives couldn't shake the feeling that she was hiding something. As the investigation progressed, another potential suspect emerged: Karen Pearson, Liam's mother. Financially desperate, Karen had been struggling to make ends meet for years. The police discovered that she had been selling prescription drugs under the table, a secret she had kept hidden from everyone. Could Karen have been involved in her own son's death? Did she play a role in encouraging the marriage, hoping to benefit from Diana's wealth? The case took another turn when a mysterious anonymous tip was sent to the police, a USB drive containing a series of text messages between Diana and an unknown contact. The messages revealed a disturbing plan. Diana had been plotting to divorce Liam and cut him and his mother out of her life. She had grown tired of her young husband's lack of ambition and was ready to move on. The messages painted a chilling picture of manipulation and greed. In the end, it was revealed that both Diana and Karen had played a role in Liam's tragic death. Karen, desperate to keep Liam in the marriage, had been secretly giving him prescription medication, hoping to keep him compliant. But the plan went horribly wrong, leading to Liam's fatal overdose. Both women were arrested for their involvement, and the quiet community of Lakewood was left to grapple with the shocking reality of a young life lost in a web of greed and manipulation. Liam Pearson, a shy boy with dreams of becoming a musician, had been caught in a nightmare he couldn't escape. As the town mourned, they were left with one final, haunting question. Had anyone truly known Liam Pearson? And could his death have been prevented if only someone had reached out sooner? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Be sure to check out our other videos for more captivating stories. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one.